My name is Krishnendu Menon, and I'm a public health nutritionist and health and wellness coach. Okay, so let's begin. Our topic is stop feeding cancer and start feeding yourself. So we all know that food is essential because it gives us energy for survival, right? Why do we need nutritious food? Here is answer. Because we are living in a world of fast-growing chronic diseases. We have been hearing the names of all these diseases so frequently for the past few years. We know that our eating habits are intricately involved in all these diseases. Only if we change our eating habits, we can reverse or prevent any of it if you're already having it. So we might have heard that to avoid certain unhealthy foods. But always avoiding certain foods is not enough if you are not able to incorporate healthy foods to your diet. Now, what are some of the causes of cancer? First one is genetic. Maybe family history, maybe your parents or grandparents or some of you in the family is already having it or had it, then risk of getting this disease is higher. Or it could be environmental, maybe due to some kind of exposure to radiations, toxins, or some. This can also lead to cancer. And the very important factor, that is 90% of the cause could be lifestyle. And in the lifestyle, it could be obesity, which is caused by dietary habits, exercise patterns, sleep patterns, alcohol consumption, tobacco use, and mental health, which we will be discussing in this presentation. Okay. So obesity. As we know, obesity is actually the root cause of many chronic diseases, including 13 different types of cancer. This is because it is causing an oxidative stress in your body, which is causing cell mutations, causing an overall genomic instability. Putting it in simple words, the excess fat cells in your body is sending signals to other cells and asking them to divide more. And this is either through inflammation, that is, if your immune cells is going to the areas where there is excess fat, it causes inflammation and then increased in cell division, which is causing cancer. Another reason is insulin resistance, hyperinsulinemia, or, when the insulin is produced more, there is also insulin-like growth factor hormone which is produced, which will cause to cell proliferation and also DNA damage, leading to cancer. Adipokine hormones, again, excess fat cells will produce adipokine hormones, which in obese people will produce adipokine leptin, which can cause cell proliferation. Whereas if you maintain your weight and if your weight is normal, they will produce adipokine nectin, which can inhibit the cell division. Sex hormones, this is especially in females after menopause, there is increased estrogen production, which will lead to the cell division in, breast cells or ovaries, leading to all these cancers. So, how do we monitor it? As we all know, there is body mass index. Body mass index is weight in kilogram by height in meter square. But this doesn't gauge much about your health, but it can tell a lot about your risk of diseases. So according to World Health Organization, 18.5 and less is considered as underweight, 18.5 to 22.9 is normal, and 27.5 and higher is obese. This is for the Asian population. So actually there is more than this body mass index, that is the visceral fat, the fat deep within your abdomen surrounding your internal organs. This is the fat which is causing proteins called cytokines, which is leading to many chronic diseases, including cancer. There is another type of fat which is subcutaneous fat, the fat you can pinch and see, the fat under your arms, which is protective fat. So actually the proportion of this fat should be, the visceral fat should be less than 10% of your total body weight, whereas your subcutaneous fat can be around 90%. Because that's the protective fat. So for knowing all this, simply doing, checking the body mass index is not enough. You should be doing the body composition analysis. That is to know your fat mass, your fat distributed throughout your body, your muscle mass, and your overall body water content. So it's advised that people should be doing this body composition analysis every 6 months. Now, why is nutrition important when you're having cancer? As we discussed, because of first one is obesity and weight gain. To manage obesity, cancer cachexia and weight loss. This is cancer cachexia is a condition where there is severe muscle mass. This could be with or without. So, to prevent this cancer cachexia or to manage cancer cachexia, we need calorie-rich and protein-rich foods to for the organ functions and to do our physical activities. To keep up your strength and energy, especially when you are in your treatment phase, you need to sustain your energy levels through adequate, nutritional requirements. Better tolerate treatment-related side effects. You will face few side effects like diarrhea, bloating, appetite loss, and all in your treatment phase. So to cope up with this, you need adequate nutrition. Lower the risk of infection. Again, immune system is something that's been eaten up by your cancer cells. So you need immune boosting foods. Heal and recover fast. So it's all about slow and consistent healing through, a fast recovery through consistent healing. Now, essential nutrients. First one is antioxidants and polyphenolic phytochemicals. They can be categorized as superfoods, especially fruits. In the fruits, it's berries. Berries comes first because berries are having multiple researchers showing that it is protecting us from many diseases, including cancer. Especially this blackberries and strawberries, they are having the antioxidant, vitamin C, allergic, the phytochemical. So also the flavonoids in it are actually suppressing the enzyme which is causing DNA damage, protecting us from cancers like lung cancer. And also the blueberries, which is rich in anthocyanin, which is having the anti-inflammatory properties. So berries are one of the superfoods in the which you should be taking for preventing diseases like cancer. Next is oranges, kiwi oranges and all. They are rich in vitamin C and ascorbic acid, again protecting your DNA cells, and it's also the involvement of DNA repair. Also, all these fruits helps. Also, grapes. Grapes is the skin of the grapes is having the phytochemical called resveratrol, which is protecting us from cancer. Banana, especially the unripe bananas, because they are having the resistant starch, which will not be digested in your small intestine, but it goes to your large intestine, and it's been fermented, and it is providing food for the healthy bacteria. So these healthy bacteria will be flushing out all the carcinogens from your body, protecting your gastrointestinal tract. Okay. Next is pomegranate. Again, pomegranate is helping us in protecting against metastasis. Metastasis is the formation of this cancer cells from a distance from the primary site of growth. Avocados, again, it is rich in vitamin E and it is protecting from oxidative stress. Next is vegetables, mainly green leafy vegetables. Broccoli and spinach is the main ones because broccoli is having a compound called sulforaphane in it, which is increasing the activity of the enzymes that protect us from cancer. At the same time, it flushes out all the carcinogens from the body. It also reduces the size and number of the cancer cells. Again, in case of spinach, it is the lutein, which is protecting us from the free radicals. And Also, the folate in it is also protecting from free radicals, as well as it's involved in the DNA repair. Tomatoes. The red skin of tomatoes, as we know, it's the lycopene in it, which is a rich phytochemical, which is again protecting us from many cancers, especially colorectal cancers. Carrots are having beta carotene, which is protecting from human papilloma virus, in turn protecting us from cervical cancers. Again, sweet potato, rich in anthocyanin, which is having anti-inflammatory properties. Bell peppers, they are rich in beta-cryptosanthin, which is another phytochemical. Garlic, as we know, it's having a pungent smell, but it is that same smell which is protecting us from cancer, because it is due to the sulfur compound called allicin in it. So this is actually having the anti-cancer properties. Spices, which include ginger. So ginger, the compounds called 6-gingerol and 6-chogol and all are protecting us from cancer, especially gastrointestinal cancers. Turmeric, as we know, is the yellow compound. It is the curcumin in it, is having anti-cancer properties. Black pepper, which is having the phytochemical piperine in it, is protecting from cancer. And cumin, thymoquinone, it is a phytochemical which is protecting from many types of cancers. Okay. Now this is general nutrition, that is, as we all know, it's the macronutrients and micronutrients. That is, as we know, carbohydrates. It is required to have enough carbohydrates in our diet because it is main source of energy. Because so it's providing you with all the nutrition and also for the organ function and also physical activity. Proteins again is involved in healing and also immunity. So protein is constantly involved in the tissue repair, also maintenance of the muscles. Fats. Again, fat is also a main source of source of energy, and it is involved in the production of certain hormones and transportation of certain vitamins. So in talking about fats, you should be taking more of the unsaturated fats, which is the healthy fats. So in unsaturated fats itself, there are two types of unsaturated fats, that is monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. The difference is monounsaturated fats are produced in our body as well as we get it from our diet. Whereas polyunsaturated fats, we get it only from our diet. That is why the fats like omega-3 fatty acids are very important, because it's not produced in our body. We get it from our diet only. Okay, next is micronutrients. Just like macronutrients, micronutrients like vitamins and minerals are also very important. Especially vitamins like vitamin D, because again this is not produced in our body. We get it, the main source of vitamin D is sunlight. Also it is also in the food, so main sources of foods include sardines, salmon, mushrooms, milk, green leafy vegetables and all. The main thing is the vitamin D exposure is protecting us from cancers, because it is involved in the apoptosis. This is the natural cell death, or the damaged cells are being progressively dead naturally. So vitamin D has an important role to play. For minerals like iron, calcium, potassium and selenium are very important minerals. So these are the sources of all these nutrients. Now we were talking about the foods you should be consuming. Now we will talk about the foods you should be avoiding completely. That is ultra processed foods, because they are having this trans fats, sugars and salts in it. Now what are trans fats? Trans fats are liquid vegetable oil that's been added to the food to make it solid and to improve its taste and consistency. We know that the processed foods we buy are loaded with preservatives, right? Like if we buy some fresh vegetables and make salad out of it, it becomes soggy and mushy after some time. This doesn't happen for a packet of cookies. It can be kept for days, months and years. So that's how preservatives are being added to it. Now, talking about sugars, that is just like how Dr. Danny was explaining, sugar is basically the enemy of cancer cells. So, there is an interesting book called Hooked by Dr. Michael Moss, in that he's explaining how addictive this sugar is. A pinch of sugar in your tip of your tongue can reach the reward circuit of your brain within fraction of seconds, and it produces a neurotransmitter called dopamine, which is pleasure inducing, which in turn is connected to that part of the brain which is associated with memory. So that's why if we have some sugary stuff, you feel like having it today, tomorrow, and subsequent days. That's how addictive the sugar is. So this is what's happening in the brain. Now in your gut, what's happening is when you have some sugar-rich foods, it will more insulin is produced, hyperinsulinemia, and this insulin is being taken. Some of the sugar is being taken to convert it to glucose. Others are stored as fat. The cycle is being repeating again and again. So that's how addictive the sugar is. So like doctor said before, when you completely eliminate sugar, it is not easy. Sometimes sugar elimination can cause issues in your body like lethargy and all. So what you can do is you can go for the natural sources of sugar like fruits. Fruits, and also if you don't have anything, you can even have things like dark chocolate, which is 70% and above cocoa levels, because this is actually rich in antioxidants. So, but it's always better to always avoid sugary stuffs and processed foods. Same for salts also. Once you open a packet of salty snacks or cheeses and all, there is no stop to it. You keep on having it because your brain knows exactly when to melt it in your mouth. Your brain is being tricked saying that you are not having enough calories, not having enough calories. So that's why these things are so addictive. Now, to reduce the consumption of these processed foods, what we need is you should be knowing how to read nutrition labels when you are buying some products or some processed foods from the supermarket. So some of you might be already knowing it, but for those of you who don't know, I'll briefly explain how it's done. So serving information. Serving size, it is not a standardized value. It is what one typically eats. So in this packet of food, this is information on a packet of lasagna. So serving size is 1 cup. Now, servings per container, that is the most important thing. Servings per container. Usually if we get a packet of food, we assume that the whole packet is for us, but no, sometimes the serving sizes will be 2, 4, 6 and all. In this it is 4 servings per container, hence calories will also change. This is for this the calorie is 280, which is for 1 serving. 280 calories is for 1 serving, but when it comes to 4 servings, it is 280 multiplied by 4, around 1000 plus calories in the single packet of food. Next, very important one is percentage daily value. This is the amount of nutrient in 1 serving of food which is contributing to your daily diet. This is based on a 2000 kilocalorie normal diet. So, if the percentage daily value is 5% or less, it is considered as low. And if it is 20% and more, it's considered as high. So, you should be focusing on nutrients like, vitamin D, magnesium, calcium and all. The percentage daily value should be 20% and high. Whereas the added sugar, salt, trans fats and all should be 5% and less percentage daily value. Next one is, this is not mentioned here, but next is ingredients. As we know, ingredients will be listed from highest to least. So what you see, the first 2-3 ingredients will be contained most in that particular packet of food. So if it is healthy ingredients, that means probably the food is healthy. Whereas if it's something that you cannot even read, just Google it out and see. Most of the time it will be some sort of chemicals or artificial sugars that's being added, refined sugars that's been added to it. The daily value is based on per serving, is it? Yes, per serving. It is the amount of nutrient in per serving of food. Next is treatment phase. When you are in your treatment phase for cancer, these are the eating problems. Some of the eating problems you will be facing: appetite loss, change in taste or smell, constipation, diarrhea, dry mouth, nausea, sore throat, weight loss or weight gain. So we'll discuss what are the solutions, some of the solutions for it, what can be done to tackle these problems. First one is appetite loss. For appetite loss, eat small and frequent meals, because this will keep you full and your digestion will be much easier and you will meet the nutrition requirements. Light exercise before meals. This is to improve your digestion. Keep some healthy snacks handy. That is, instead of munching on some unhealthy snacks, always keep some healthy snacks if you're going out or something. Next is bloating. Again, for bloating, chew your food thoroughly, because again your salivary amylase will be breaking down these foods, and it helps in metabolism and also digestion of the food. Avoid fried or greasy foods. Walking at least for 15 minutes after each meal. Again, this will help in proper digestion. Changes in taste or smell. Serve food at room temperature, because if it's extreme temperature, it may be, you will have a strong smell. Season foods with tart flavors. This is again to reduce the strong taste if you're having taste issues. Tart flavors as in some lemon or orange flavors. Chew mint or preserved orange peels after the food. Brush your teeth or tongue frequently to clear the taste buds. Eat with porcelain or wooden cutlery if you're having metallic taste. Some of you, if you're in the treatment phase, they will have some metallic taste in their mouth. So to reduce all those, these are some of the solutions. Constipation, always stick to a regular eating as well as toilet habits. Consume fiber-rich foods. Take more fluids. Again, for diarrhea, always drink mild liquids. Avoid high fiber or high spicy or sweet foods. High fiber foods just when you are having diarrhea. Otherwise, high fiber foods are good. But if you're having diarrhea issues during the treatment phase, avoid those. Change to lactose-free dairy products. Sometimes if you are in your treatment phase, if you're not already having this lactose intolerance problem, but if you're in your treatment phase, for some people, then they will start having this intolerance. So always check on that and try avoiding those milk and milk products for a while. Have small and frequent meals. Next is dry mouth. Sip liquids throughout the day to keep your mouth moist. And eat foods easy to swallow, like porridges, soups, and smoothies and all that are easy to swallow. Moisten the foods with sauce or gravy. Do not drink any type of alcohol. This will again make your dry mouth even more drier. Suck on ice cubes. Nausea. Eat small and frequent meals again. Do not skip the meal again, because this will aggregate your nauseous feeling. Eat dry toast or crackers before the bed, because they are rich in starch, so it will take up the gastric acid and settle down your stomach. Sip fluids like ginger tea or soups between meals. Weight loss. Eat at right time, enrich your food, the foods you eat. If you're having porridges or if something plain as curd also, you can top it with fruits or nuts or some healthy toppings to it. Use oral nutrition supplements if necessary. For weight loss, especially like cancer cachexia, we give this omega-3 fatty acids, because they helps you prevent the inflammations, especially the some amino acids like eicosapentaenoic acid, which is again rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Now, neutropenic diet is especially for the patients who are having the stem cell transplantations and all. So this is basically a hospital diet. Neutropenic diet is nothing, but it is a low microbial diet. It is to prevent the infections, foodborne infections, according to food safety. So foods to avoid include raw nuts or fresh nut butter, raw meats and seafood, any foods that contain raw eggs, soft and aged cheeses, unpasteurized cheese, milk, fruit juice, and vegetable juice. Bulk bean cereals. Bulk bean cereals, as in the cereals which is open, which you see in the supermarket, which is open, and sometimes it may cause contaminations. This is not for, normal treatment phase. This is especially for the people who are admitted in the hospital, and for 1 month before their stem cell transplant, they should be following this type of diet. Avoid uncooked vegetable sprouts such as alfalfa, beans, and clover sprouts. Water source from swimming pool, lake, spring, and all. If you're having bottled water, always see that whether it's written that reverse osmosis, distilled water, or filtered through absolute 1 micron or not. So because those water is safe than other bottled waters. Keep cold food cold. Keep hot food hot. Don't try to change the temperature, that's what it's meaning. Eat defrosted foods right away, don't keep it for long. Avoid sharing your foods. After buying perishable foods, eat them within 2 hours. Leftover foods should be eaten within 48 hours. Actually, it should be eaten before that, but maximum 48 hours. Avoid salad bars, buffets, and potluck. This is because the salad bars and buffets and all, they are used by the public, so avoid having those. Avoid fresh and packaged foods that pass their expiry date. Eggs, cream, and mayonnaise-based food should not be kept outside the refrigerator for more than 1 hour. Again, food preparation, which can reduce the contamination, include proper hand washing is the first important. Let us always wash your hands before you are cooking something, and thoroughly rinse fresh fruit and vegetables. Even if it's hard-skinned, always wash and brush it with a scrub. Use separate cutting boards for meat and other food products. Use clean dishes to serve cooked food. If you are having one food in a container, always wash it before having another food in it. Food storage, again check that your refrigerator is set at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, that is around 4 degrees Celsius, because bacteria will be growing best in 4 degree to 60 degrees Celsius, that is around 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Refrigerate or freeze frozen food immediately after purchase. Refrigerate or freeze leftover food within 1 hour of eating always. Defrost foods in a refrigerator, cold water, or by microwaving it. Avoid putting hot food in a refrigerator, which can cause temperature to rise. Now, talking about cookwares. Cookwares, here, safe and unsafe is being categorized in terms of the leaching out of the metals. So the main one is plastic, because if you are storing some food in plastic containers, there is bisphenol A, which is a chemical which will be leached out into that particular food. Non-stick cookwares, especially the scratched non-stick cookwares, please don't use it, because the Teflon coating will be releasing the perfluorooctanoic acid in the forms of fumes, which is very dangerous chemical and carcinogen. Aluminium. Again, aluminium comes in between, because aluminium, when you are cooking acidic food, it will be leached out into the food. But if you are using anodized aluminium, it is sealed aluminium. Yeah. Copper. Again, copper also same. If it is lined copper, it has been sealed with the tin, another metal, which is making it safe for cooking the acidic foods in it. So safe ones are cast iron, that is because it is a very hard metal and it can be heat resistant as well. So it is safe to cook the foods in cast iron containers. Even if it is leaching out, it will be iron which will be leaching out, which is actually a safe level, especially for people who are suffering from anemia and all. Stainless steel, again, this will also leach out metals in it, but it will be a safe amount of nickel and chromium. Again, earthen pot or clay pots or clay containers, especially the unglazed clay, this will leach out one safe amount of magnesium and calcium. But the other advantage is they are alkaline in nature. So if you are cooking acidic food, it will neutralize it. But always go for unglazed clay pots rather than glazed ones, because glazed pots will be leaching out the mercury and lead into your food. Glass containers, as we know, it is heat resistant. To store food, it is heat resistant, and also it is non-toxic, recyclable containers. Now, cooking methods. This is for people who are very particular and they don't even want a 1% risk. They should be following this, because cooking methods, especially high temperature cooking methods, will lead to certain compounds like heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are very carcinogenic. So that's why it said that high heat and dry heat cooking methods should be avoided, like pan frying, deep frying, grilling, barbecuing, smoking and all. Again, grilling vegetables is fine. I'm talking about meat. Low carcinogenic are boiling, poaching, steaming. This is moist and low temperature cooking methods are generally safe. Now, some small tips include: steam your broccoli rather than cooking it for longer time, because broccoli, as I said before, the sulforaphan is the compound which is having the anti-cancer properties. This is being formed from an enzyme called myrosinase. So if you are cooking the broccoli for a longer time, this will be lost to a large extent. So always steam your broccoli. Broccoli should be steamed for less than 5 minutes. Cook tomatoes. Always cook your tomatoes well rather than having raw tomatoes, because it is having a lycopene which will be released and absorbed in your food. Cook carrots in high temperature. Again, rather than having raw carrots, it's always better to cook your carrots, because the provitamin, that is beta carotene, will be released into your food if you're properly cooking it for long in high temperature. Wait to cook the garlic. Please cut your garlic and wait for at least 5 to 10 minutes before you cook it. That's when the sulfur compound allicin, which is having the anti-cancer properties, will be formed in that. Add ginger or turmeric. Yeah, in all the foods you eat, try to include this ginger and turmeric to your foods. Like I discussed before, cook fish and meat slow and low. Now, talking about the general eating habits. What is a perfect diet for human beings? Actually, there is no perfect diet for human beings. We are all fanned by the internet and YouTube channels. We have been following different types of diet, like liquid diet, salad diet, fruit diet, detox diet and all. Actually, why do we need detox diet when we are having something called liver inside your body, which can naturally detoxify itself? So, also, some people may be taking this green juices in the morning, that is, grinding all the kale, spinach, and all those green leafy vegetables. Of course, green leafy vegetables are having very good nutritional value. It's rich in fiber, antioxidants, and all, but it should be taken as whole, not in the juice form. Because in the juice form, for a long term, it will accumulate a compound called oxalate in your body, which will harm your kidneys in a long run. So it is always not extreme diet. It's always about balanced diet. You should be including all groups of nutrition, all groups of foods in your daily diet. Extreme diets are actually depriving you of essential nutrients. And it's not always possible for you to consistently follow it. All those extreme liquid diet or fruit diet or whatever it is. But if you're having a balanced meal every day, it is possible to follow it on a regular basis. Now, when, what, how much and how. So in this, we'll see first time. Just like everything else, timing of the food is also very important. This is because of the circadian rhythm. It is the rhythm that regulates your sleep-wake cycles. It is said that in all the cells in our body that is dealing with metabolism to digestion, there is an internal clock which is synchronized with the external environment. That is the light which is coming from the external environment, the time of the food you eat. So this clock knows when your body is active and also at rest. So that's why it said that you should be finishing off your meals before sunset. because this is the time when your body internal clock knows that your body is active. So your insulin is sensitive, that is, your body is responding to the insulin, your metabolism is fast, there is no interruption of the sleep hormones. So what happens, there is the leptin hormone is being released, which can control your hunger, so there won't be unnecessary hunger pangs. Whereas if you're having your dinner late at night, what happens? The opposite will happen. That is, again, your internal clock knows your body is at rest. So your metabolism is slowing down. Your sleep hormones, melatonin, is slowly coming up. Your insulin is becoming resistant. That is, your body is not reacting to the insulin. So that's when your body is storing this energy as fat. So this is the difference when you are having, so this is why it is said that you should be consuming or finishing of your meals before sunset within 12 hours in a day. So next is combination of foods. Just like timing of food, combination is also important, because you shouldn't be ideally having a food that is rich in one nutrient with another food which is rich in the same nutrient, because this may cause many health problems, because this different enzymes are involved in the digestion of different nutrients. For example, protease are involved in the digestion of proteins, lipase are involved in the digestion of fats. So when you're having the same nutrient, different foods with same nutrients, this will delay your digestion. For a simple example, certain combination which doesn't get well is that tomatoes and pasta. This is a very common combination, but tomatoes are acidic in nature and pasta is rich in starch. So when you're having this both, this acidic tomatoes will interrupt the digestion of this starch, causing problems like bloating in you, inside you. Also, certain the salads shouldn't be taken in the raw form. It should be always accompanied with a healthy fat, because this is only when the salads are rich in vitamins like, vitamin A, D, E, and K, which is fat-soluble vitamins. So fats only can transport all these vitamins. So that's why it's always said that you shouldn't be having raw salads. You should always cook your salads or cook your vegetables in healthy fat, or at least little bit sprinkling of olive oil is enough, or having it with an egg is also enough. So that's about combination of the food. Next is quantity. Quantity is something that depends on there is no fixed quantity of food. It's something that depends on your hunger level, which is in turn decided by your activity level. So I cannot ask a person who is doing construction work outside to eat only this much rice and one chicken piece, because he will feel hungry like very fast. So quantity of your food depends on your hunger level, which is in turn decided by your activity level. So, and do not confuse with hunger and cravings. Hunger is the physical need or physical response of your body. But whereas cravings is an emotional response. If you're frustrated or very happy or something, any emotionally, if you're maybe if you have fought with any of your friends or partner, then you will feel like you will have the cravings for a specific food. So that is cravings. Whereas hunger is, if you have something, then you feel satisfied. That's it. So do not confuse between these two. And cravings can be controlled to a large extent through a healthy lifestyle. Next is quality. Good quality foods. Good quality foods are not the foods that's been imported from different countries. We know that our ancestors were much healthy than we are now. That's because they had all those vegetable gardens, organic farming. They used to get into the soil, and they are resistant to all the allergies and inflammations, infections and all. Whereas we are sitting in front of the gadgets, ordering grab food, having all those processed foods and all. So sometimes if you're living in an apartment or condominiums, it's not very easy to have all those vegetable gardens and all. So what least you can do is go to a local vegetable stall and buy the fresh vegetables from there, instead of buying it from a supermarket, which is called frozen vegetables and fruits. Again, other lifestyle habits include hydration. Just like eating habits are important, drinking water is also very important because it improves detoxification. As we know, it flushes out all the harmful chemicals and toxins from our body. Positive effect on cognition and memory. This is especially in children. Children, it is found that every 2% fluid loss, it's affecting their memory. So always keep hydrated, especially for children. Digestive harmony. Again, it aids in digestion if you are drinking enough water. Also weight management. This is not, this doesn't have much researchers to support it, but still we believe that it's helping in weight management because if you're drinking water after a meal, you feel full and you tend to have less portion size for your next meal. That's how it's maintaining in your weight. Otherwise, it doesn't have much researchers to support that water is helping in weight management. Decrease joint pain because this lubricate your cartilages and reduce the friction between your bones. Temperature regulation. Again, if you're dehydrated, your body will store more heat. So if you're if you're drinking enough water, if you're hydrated well, this will be released in the form of sweat outside your body. Stay away from bladder cancer and urinary tract diseases. Again, the diseases like kidney stones, these are crystals which has been accumulated in your body, which can be diluted with enough water. Same for the carcinogens in your body. This will be flushed out from your urinary bladder, protecting you from cancers like bladder cancers. Now, physical activities. So, if you ask me what is the best physical activity, of course it is walking. Because if you're walking even 5,000 or 10,000 steps, it's the best for your blood circulation, your weight management, and overall for your mental health. But if your age permits and your health permits, you should go for muscle strengthening activities like weightlifting, climbing stairs, push-ups, squats, cycling, dancing and all. Weightlifting not necessarily have to be inside the gym. You can take 1 liter bottle each and then do weightlifting every day. This will also help to a large extent for strengthening your muscles. For flexibility, flexibility is mainly to improve your posture and also prevent injuries. Cardiovascular endurance, this is the capacity of your respiratory system to supply oxygen. So through activities like running, jogging, aerobics, swimming and all, it improves your your breathing and overall your circulation, blood circulation. Again, so the more you exercise, the less is the risk of having cancer, because if your lack of exercise can cause around 7 types of different cancers, including breast cancer, endometrial, kidney, bladder, esophageal, stomach and colon cancer. So physical activity can, to a large extent, as we know, like prevent obesity, which is one of the root cause of cancer. And lower sex hormones, which is also, again, like I said before, the production of estrogen hormones can be reduced to a large extent. Prevent insulin and insulin-like growth factor will be reduced. Reducing inflammation, improves immune system, altering bile acid metabolism. Bile acid metabolism is lead to produce more cytotoxins in your body. So getting enough exercise will alter the bile acid metabolism. This is something Dr. Danny already explained, but I'll quickly go through. Yes, sleep is another important factor. Not only the quality of the sleep, but not only the quantity of the sleep, but the quality of sleep was also important. It said that you should be sleeping at least 6 to 8 hours a day. So if you're sleeping 6 to 8 hours, but if it's disrupted sleep, that doesn't count. So always quality of the sleep is also important. Keep away your gadgets, because the blue light from your gadgets is said to reduce the level of sleep hormones or melatonin from your body. Switch off or dim the lights. Again, it will when you switch off or dim the lights after sunset, it helps the production of melatonin or sleep hormones better. 10 to 6 a.m. is ideal. This is because 10 to 3 a.m. is the time when your liver is doing all the detoxification work inside your body. So it is the time you should be getting enough sleep, sound sleep. Check your nutrition. If you are deficient in nutrients like vitamin D and magnesium, again, your sleep, you will have insomnia and sleep disruptions. So always monitor your nutrition levels. Again, sleep and cancer, because it's when you sleep, if you're having a good sleep, that's when your DNA is being repaired. DNA is the blueprint of your life. That is, it contains all the information about your cells, metabolism and everything. So when you are sleeping, that is the time this DNA is being constantly repaired. So always get a good sleep. Again, circadian rhythm. This is when you're having this night shifts or jet lags and all. People working in night shifts and all, they are exposed to the light for long term. So this will actually reduce the amount of hormones called melatonin. That is, the sleep hormones will be reduced in them. So that's why it said that circadian rhythm also plays a role. Obstructive sleep apnea. Again, when your airways are blocked, it will cause oxidative stress. So this is also something you should be checking. Now, again, during the treatment phase, sleep problems include pain due to the treatment or stress, maybe some kind of stress like financial stress, medications like steroids, hormones, if you're doing hormone therapies, gastrointestinal or urinary problems, infection and fever, cough or breathing difficulties. So some of the solutions to it are talk to your oncologist whether he or she can provide some medication at least for a short term, relaxation techniques or cognitive behavior therapy. For this, you should talk to your therapist. Avoid foods and drinks that disrupt your sleep, like caffeine, coffee and all. Just avoid after 4 p.m. and all. Avoid drinking coffee if you are having sleep disturbances. And also avoid having heavy meals at night. Exposure to bright light during the day. Again, like I said before, your internal clock knows when your body is active, when it is daylight and night, and also always expose yourself to daylight more to get a good sleep at night. Get appropriate exercise, fix to a regular routine. That is, even if you're not feeling sleepy also, always fix to a regular routine. If you're going to bed at 10 p.m., always go to bed at 10 p.m. itself. Choose soundproof, dark bedrooms. Now, stress. Again, stress is also one of the factor for cancer, because stress hormones like cortisol will disrupt the apoptosis. Apoptosis is the natural cell death, the process in which the deceased cells are being dead naturally. So stress is something that will restrict this apoptosis process. So stress is something that we cannot get rid of in different stages of our life. But what you can do to control this stress include practice self-care activities like meditation and breathing exercise. Engage in different interesting activities. Always have a hobby or engage in different activities, because like I said before, in processed foods and sugary foods, in here also that neurotransmitter dopamine is released from your body, which is pleasure inducing, so it can to a large extent reduce your stress. Listen to music, set realistic goals to reduce burnout. Always set realistic goals, because unrealistic goals always lead to disappointments, and that will also increase the stress. Go out frequently. It is said that 30 minutes outside your house or in greenery and all those surrounding can elevate your mood to a large extent. Call and speak to good friends. Now, next is alcohol consumption. Alcohol consumption, because this alcohol is being broken down to acetaldehyde. So this will cause damage to the cells, changes to the hormones. Again, changes to the hormones like insulin and insulin-like growth factor. So, like I said before, this will induce cell proliferation. Changes to cells in mouth and throat. Again, because this acetaldehyde, it's been coming in contact with the cells in mouth and throat, which will absorb all these compounds and lead to all the throat cancer, mouth cancer and all. So there is no safe level of alcohol when you're diagnosed with cancer, or if you're in a treatment phase or remission stage. Again, tobacco, there is no safe level of smoking. Chemicals can actually damage your DNA. It is said that smoking can lead to around 5,000 different chemicals, in which 70 of them are carcinogenic, which is leading to 15 different types of cancers. So there is no safe level to it, and it will even damage that part of the DNA which is protecting us from cancer. Now, these are some of the takeaway message for future generation. Always practice mindful eating, encourage healthy snacking, read food labels before you purchase it, reward with non-food items. If you're even from the childhood itself, instead of telling them, oh, I'll buy ice cream, chocolates and all, better reward them with non-food items if they achieve something, or if you really want to motivate them. Go for home-cooked foods and drinks rather than outside foods. Chew your food well. Always choose whole fruits than fruit juices, because the pulp and skin in the whole fruits are having more fiber and nutrients than in the fruit juices. Choose water instead of carbonated drinks. Be physically active at least 20 to 40 minutes every day. Teach the importance of having vegetable garden right from the childhood itself. Ensure they get adequate sleep daily. Always drink optimum water. Practice yoga or meditation to reduce academic or work-related stress. Yeah, small changes can always make big differences. So always having and leading a healthy lifestyle will help you if you're diagnosed with cancer, or if you're in your treatment phase, or if you're in your remission stage as well. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah. Yeah. Reheat, I mean, eating leftover food is always will have certain level of contaminations and bacterial growth, and you will be prone to it. But here in this case, I told about to completely avoid it, because if you're doing stem cell transplantations and any kind of bone marrow transplantations, because for them you should be very careful about the bacteria and all. Like I mentioned before, bacteria can best grow in the temperature like 4 to 60 degrees Celsius. So it's better if you can have the food within that period of time. But if you have no choice, sometimes you will have to reheat and have the leftover food. Yeah. For a long term, it will. Yeah, definitely. I mean, for a long term, if you're daily doing this, it can cause harmful effects on your health. Proven facts, I will have to check if there are many researches that shows it, but ideally it is not good for your health if you are constantly reheating your food and also having the leftover food. Like I said, leftover food should be taken at least maximum it should be kept for only 48 hours for all, not only for the cancer patients or neutropenic diet, but for everybody else. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of olive oil. Yeah. Coconut oil, before it was said that coconut oil, because it is saturated fat, it shouldn't be used. But now the researchers are saying that coconut oil, especially virgin coconut oil, are good for your health.
So that means it's not olive. I
Olive oil is also very good for your health because it is, again, like I said, it's rich in unsaturated fats. But now there are studies showing that even coconut oil are also very good for your health because that's why it's being used in the treatment of diseases like dementia and all. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes, you can continue using it. Um, Gluten-free foods and benefits, as in if you're having gluten allergies, if you are you being have you tested before? Mm. Okay. In terms of cancer. Okay. Um, in terms of cancer, I think I will have to read about it. Gluten-free foods. I will update you. Is it fine? I'll get your number and update you. Because gluten-free foods are should be avoided if you're having a gluten allergies. But I don't know how it's affecting in terms of, I mean, in the cancer. How is it involved in the cancer prevention? I think I'll have to read about it and I'll update you. I'll update you today itself. Any other questions? Okay, I think that's it. Hope you all, it was helpful for you all. Thank you so much.